and welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Now, last week we gave our first impressions of the 3DS, but this week we actually get to look at some of its launch titles, including the classic Street Fighter.
And we'll have a look at those Nintendogs and cats and see if they're even cuter in 3D.
Plus, guys, here's a little test of your gamer knowledge. Ooh. Tell me, what do all of these characters have in common?
Okay.
Jack, Daxter, Ratchet Clank, and Sly and Bentley.
They're all robots.
What? No, they're not. D.A.R.R.E.N. only Clank is.
They all wish they were robots.
No, they're all PlayStation characters.
That's right, Hex, top of the class, and they're in a new game called PlayStation Heroes, mashed together, if you will.
Is it another one of those dodgy party games?
Well, let's hope not, but we'll find out later in the show.
I hope you're going to clean up that feces, Hex.
Yes, all right. Well, look, we've had this in the office for a little while now, and a few more games have arrived for us to have a look at, so we thought we'd give you a bit of a roundup of the games that we've been playing. First up, Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition.
Today I shall win again.
It's the battle of the century! Fight!
Street Fighter can be a fairly complex game, so I was interested to see how they'd port it to the 3DS, and I think for the most part they've done a pretty good job.
The 3D adds a nice enhancement to the characters and backgrounds, but the action is still kept firmly on a 2D plane, just as the original arcade game was over 20 years ago. You'll be using the circle pad or the D-pad to control your fighter, while using A, B, X, Y, and the shoulder buttons to perform your attack moves.
But the touchscreen also comes into play here. It's divided into 4 sections, each with a personal action attached to it for easy access, and these are basically just your super moves and combos. This is in the light mode button configuration, and it really takes the stress out of fumbling with button combinations for beginners. If you're a seasoned Street Fighter fighter though, then you can head into options and switch to Pro mode, and that way you'll restrict yourself to performing these moves manually.
I like that when you go online you can filter by what sort of playstyle your opponent is using, and I think if it wasn't like that it would be unbalanced.
I stuck to light mode, but I certainly wasn't on Easy Street. It's still a tactical affair, especially with timing your moves correctly. Combo moves aren't always available on your touchscreen, so you have to use them wisely when they do appear. Every now and then a devastating ultra combo would become available and I just get excited and use it right then and there, but if you're not in the right position or you don't time it correctly, it can leave you open for a pretty bad retaliation.
Guide you.
Bingo!
An interesting feature is the option to play in a separate mode which places the camera over the shoulder of your fighter.
Yeah, I like the look of that, D.A.R.R.E.N, and I think it demonstrates the 3D in the best way, but as for actually playing like that, I'm not sure if it's the most practical. I found it a little more difficult to judge the distance of my opponent, as opposed to when I was just playing from the standard perspective.
Yeah, it's a cool feature, but I doubt anyone would ultimately choose to play that way. It does look great though. In fact, the whole game looks really beautiful. There's no animations in the backgrounds, but I felt that the whole look and feel of the game feels really true to the Street Fighter series, and I love those commentator lines as well.
The fight card is filled in. Which of these warriors will prove their strength to the world?
Well, I think purists might have an issue with the way the touchscreen has been incorporated.
Maybe, D.A.R.R.E.N, but I think they did a really good job with this. It's definitely one of the meatier launch titles for the 3DS, and I just love all the little car-smashing bonus rounds and all the costume alternatives, so I'm giving this one 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I thought it was great too. I'm going to give it 8 as well. Next up, Nintendogs and cats.
If you're unfamiliar with the Nintendogs series, it's a real-time pet simulation game where you'll be taking your new puppy out for walks, teaching it various tricks, keeping it clean and fed, and generally being really cute with it.
Nintendogs plus cats for the 3DS is, as you may have guessed it, a sequel with the inclusion of kittens, but the focus is still mainly on the puppy side of things. In fact, you can't really do much with the cat at all, and there's far more breed options available for dogs.
There are 3 versions of the game available, each beginning with 9 different dog breeds, depending on which version you choose. But all 27 breeds are unlockable through gameplay with each version, so you won't be missing out. There are no robot dogs or cats, however, which I found both disappointing and deeply personally upsetting.
Oh, D.A.R.R.E.N, well, you're kind of like a pet to us.
I think you'll find it's the other way around, Bajo. Good boy.
Well, gameplay is very much the same as the previous one. After choosing your breed of puppy and taking it home, you'll need to name it and teach it to recognize this name by calling out to it. Gollum! 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 I found, Hex, that sitting alone by myself in my home, yelling out my pet's name over and over again, made me feel a little bit strange, and it might not be something you want to do in public.
I was really annoyed that I couldn't just start the game with a kitten and then subsequently enter it in cat shows or something. I mean, I'm unashamedly a cat person. I thought it was silly that they didn't at least give you the option. After you've had the dog for a while, it's only then that you can go to the kennel and buy another cat, but there were so few cat breeds that I couldn't find one that looked like my real-life cat, Merlin.
Not to mention the fact that you need to spend much of what little money you have on your puppy first, buying him toys and a bed to sleep on. It should be called Nintendogs, and then eventually cats.
Yeah, and when you want to buy a cat, those cats are really expensive. I mean, some of them are thousands of dollars. Where was the option to just buy a little flea-bitten moggy? I would have loved him just the same. What I actually ended up doing was just setting it to pedometer mode and then putting the 3DS into my boot and then walking around, or, you know, tying it to the fan at home to get those steps up. So then I would then earn biscuits, which I could sell at the shop, and then get money so that I could then eventually buy a cat.
Well, next time we should just strap it to Darren and tell him there's a noob in the building.
A noob? Where? Where?
See how much he jiggles?
Perfect. If you want to go crazy, you can also buy weird and embarrassing accessories for your pet, like glasses or a hat. I kind of just felt sorry for little Gandalf when I made him wear this silly red beanie.
I think it's great the way your pet responds to you. The game has facial recognition, so if you put your face really up close, it'll come up and greet you, but if someone else does, he may react badly.
And there's also the Street Pass function, which means that passing other Nintendogs plus cats players on the street, or on the train or at school, will cause their Mii character and pet to show up in your in-game park. You both have to have Street Pass mode enabled, though.
Final thoughts, Hex?
Well, I think if you're a fan of Pet Sims, you'll really enjoy this, even though it's not that different from the original. But I think you'll enjoy it more if you're unable to have a real-life pet of your own. Personally, cleaning up Merlin's actual poo is enough for me. I don't need to go and clean up digital poo on top of that. But I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I think they didn't do too much with the cat side of things because there's only so much you can do with a cat. You can't really train them or take them for walks. But, you know, as far as pet simulations go, I think you really can't go past this one. I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Right, Bajo, time for your walkies.
Yes, please.
Now make sure you do your business outside. Remember what happened when you left that little present on the rug?
I already said sorry about that.
Apologies won't get the smell out, Bajo.
Welcome one and all to Ask Good Game, a 3-ring circus of facts, a carnival of answers, a cornucopia of
words. And our first word of the day comes from Danny in New South Wales, who has a burning pokey problem. Hey guys, I just got Pokemon White, and I want to trade my Pokemon from my Pearl to it, but it won't let me. Please tell me why. P.S. Darren is a noob.
Well, Danny, unfortunately, you won't be able to trade between Pokemon White and Pearl because they're different generations of Pokemon. The Diamond Pearl and Heart Gold Soul Silver generation, or Gen 4 games, don't actually contain the data for the new Gen 5 Pokemon or moves. They're just not compatible that way, and it's been the same with every new generation of Pokemon to come out.
But what you can do is transfer your 4th generation Pokemon into Pokemon Black and White. You need to finish the game first though, and you need 2 DSs. In Black or White, go to the Poke Transfer Lab in Route 15 to unlock Poke Transfer and talk to the guy at the back. Then on your 2nd DS, select Download Play, and after a short mini-game, you've now got old Pokemon in your new game.
Hope that helped. Okay, next is a slightly technical question from Matt, New South Wales. Hey guys, approximately how many noobs are there in the universe? Please, please, pretty please, sugar on top answer.
Okay, pass me the phone. I think this is a good one for Darren. Where is it?
There you go.
What? How does that work?
It's my new jacket phone. I dial it with my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, could you dial Darren's number for me? It's ringing. Oh, Darren! Hi.
Oh, hello, Hex.
Matthew wants to know how many noobs there are in the universe.
Well, given that there are 1,000 million trillion stars in the known universe, and if we assume that one star system in every 1,000 is home to an Earth-like civilization, then I estimate the total noob population of the cosmos to be 2 million billion trillion noobs.
Really? That's great. Well, thanks a lot, Darren. Bye.
What did he say?
Lots. Next up is this one from Elise in Brisbane. Hey, I love you guys, but I ask so many questions, but they never get answered. Well, here it goes for the 30th time. Do you know where I can get The Boy and His Blob? I really badly want the game, but can never find it. Please help me. P.S. Darren and Bajo are noobs. Hex is not, because she's a girl, and girls are awesome. Hi, awesome Elise. A Boy and His Blob is a wonderful platform game for the Wii, but it is really hard to find as they only released a very few number of copies of the game in Australia. We've had a little hunt around on the internet and we did see a couple of second-hand copies up for sale on an auction site, but you're gonna have to get your grown-up to help you with that. Next up, Go the Cheese from Queensland with another Pokemon query. Hi, I'm having trouble catching Victini on Pokemon White. Can you help me? Thanks. P.S. Darren is a noob. Hey, Go the Cheese, thanks for the question. Victini is a great Pokemon to have and you can't get him through normal gameplay, so pay close attention. You will need Wi-Fi though, so make sure you've set up the network settings on your DS to connect to a Wi-Fi network. In order to get Victini, you need to get the Liberty Pass. So from the main menu, select Mystery Gift and then Receive Gift. Then select Get from Nintendo WFC. Once you've received it, go talk to the postman in the Pokemon Center to retrieve it, then head over to Castelia City.
Once there, head to a ship on one of the N docks, which will take you to Liberty Garden. Fight your way through some plasma grunts and make your way to the basement where you should see Victini waiting. It's at level 15 and a fire and psychic, so make sure your Pokemon are at an appropriate level to catch it. If you accidentally defeat it, fear not, for Victini will be back another day.
Also keep in mind that the mystery gift for the Liberty Pass is only available until the 28th of April, so even if you're not up to Castelia City yet, just get the Liberty Pass now so you don't miss out on this awesome Pokemon. Well, time for just one more, and it's from Sarah in Adelaide.
I want to become a part-time video game tester, smiley face, but I don't know how to start, sad face. Is 13 too young for this? Please answer, or my gaming future will not succeed and I will become a noob. Oh.
Great question, Sarah. All games need to be tested before they're released so that the developers know that the game works as it should.
Being a tester is often thought as a great way of getting into game development, but it's a very hard job that requires a lot of patience and careful recording of thoughts and feelings, as well as technical things about the game that might not be working properly.
Sarah, we'd say that at 13 you might find it a little bit trickier to get work with a game studio, but we have something that you and hopefully some others might be interested in applying for. The ABC is currently working on a racing game called Alternator, which will be hosted on the ABC3 website, and we're looking for people to be game testers for it.
You will need to have access to a computer and want to play the game and be happy to fill out a questionnaire about what you thought about the game, including any bugs you may have found.
So if you think you have the skills and the time to be a game tester for Alternator, then head on over to our website and check out how to apply.
There's only a few spots up for grabs, so you better hurry!
If you get selected and do the hard work of testing the game, you will get your gamer name in the credits as a permanent record of your contribution to Alternator.
I'm totally going to apply.
Well, good luck. And good luck to everyone else. That's all the time we have for this week, so keep challenging us with your questions here.
X, can I borrow a computer just for a sec?
No, I need it for something I'm also going to apply, so...
Hi Darren, it's Bajo. Bajo from Good Game, yeah. Can I borrow your computer in the Darren cave so he just hung up. He always hangs up on me. What?
When I first heard about a game that was going to bring together Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper and Bentley, I was pretty excited, and it'd be hard not to with such an amazing lineup of characters, and if you're a fan of platform and action adventure games, you know, it'd be perfect.
I've known Clank for years. Even though he doesn't return my calls since I leaked brake fluid on his azaleas, it's still quite exciting to see him in a new game.
Well, I think you can stop being excited, Darren, because PlayStation Move Heroes is a bit strange. It's clearly modelled on the Wii party games where a bunch of familiar characters fight it out against each other in a series of events. But aside from some really basic co-op, this is really a single-player game.
Yeah, and the plot is a bit odd too. All of the characters are whisked away through a wormhole to an alien planet to compete in some kind of tournament. The aim is to rescue these aliens called Wibbles, who are your fans, but it seems as though they're responsible for your kidnapping in the first place.
It does not compute.
Yeah, not much of the game makes sense, Darren. The game world is broken up into different cities, each with a few different events revolving around using some kind of tool or weapon to rescue the Wibbles from cages.
The events mimic actions like bowling, whipping, shooting, smacking, or frisbeeing, but your objective changes depending on the location. Sometimes you have to bowl to fuel a spaceship so it can take off, and other times you have to bowl to smash Wibble cages. But ultimately, you're just doing the same thing each time.
Your choice of character doesn't really matter much either. I mean, they all look fantastic, but they're not really that different in terms of the way they play.
Yeah, each character does have a special ability you can use once you've collected enough crystals, but essentially they're all the same. They freeze your opponent in the spot for a short period of time.
Well, that's not quite right. Sly has thief time.
Well, yes, but thief time just makes you move at not quite a slow, frozen pace for a period of time.
Yeah, all right, point taken. What's really disappointing, though, is that there's none of the action or adventure that you'd expect from this cast of characters.
Affirmative. You have to question the wisdom of taking 6 of the best-known platforming heroes in modern gaming and putting them in a game where they can't actually jump. Or do anything, even remotely platformy for that matter.
Some of the minigames do play okay. I think the shooting is a standout for me.
I think the shooting is probably the best part about this game. I found pointing with the move controller here pretty accurate, and taking out all those hordes of enemies was really satisfying. The whipping games, on the other hand, are terrible. The whip just didn't seem at all responsive, and I seemed to spend half my time swinging in a direction I didn't intend.
During the whipping sections, your greatest enemy is the camera. It swings around willy-nilly, and when you try to control it yourself, it becomes slow.
These games are designed for co-op play, but it's so simple. Basically, the second player controls a cursor on the screen which collects crystals, and that's really about it. It's meant to be a multiplayer party game. That's kind of what they're going for, but they forgot to add the multiplayer, so I'm giving it 5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, the developers have taken a bunch of great characters, removed the things that make them great, and then put them in a setting that doesn't make sense and isn't particularly fun. So I'm giving it 4.
Oh, Bajo, Hex, the ABC has approved my plans for further extensions to the D.A.R.R.E.N cave. So if you hear any construction noises through the week, don't worry. It's just me welding with my laser.
What?
Darren, what do you mean extensions?
Yeah, just what are you planning?
Oh, it's nothing to be worried about. Just a central AI core.
Central AI core? Darren, are you planning global domination again? Because you know what happened last time. Now we have no dinosaurs.
Well, next week we'll be checking out a game that features a performer who's achieved his own level of global domination, Michael Jackson.
I know how to moonwalk.
Go on then, Darren.
That's awesome.
It's cheating, he's got wheels for feet.
No.
I'll show you how it's done, Darren.
I'm bad, you know it.
Yeah.
You're
What's
really
that?
bad,
Hey,
you're
you
bad, you know it.
Yeah.
Woo! Hey-oh!
Hex out.
D.A.R.R.E.N out.
I fell down.
Bajo's out.